want us to be able to multiply whole numbers, right? Sometimes I'm going to deal with negative signs. Sometimes I'm going to deal with positive signs. Just want to show you guys a cool way how to multiply it. Probably you guys haven't seen this method before, probably. So my first number has 3 digits. I'm going to ignore the signs right now, like positives or negatives. I'm just going to look at the numbers, okay? So my first one has 3 digits. My second number has 3 digits. So I'm going to do a 3 by 3 box. So 3 squares by 3 squares. Okay, some of you might be like, well, Mr. Leonzo, what if one of my numbers only had 2 digits? What if the first one had 3 digits and the second one had 2? Then you do a 3 by 2 box. I'm gonna write 312. Notice how I did one number per square. So 312. And then here at the side, I'm gonna write 401. So that's why I did 3 by 3. And then each of my squares, each of my boxes, let me cut it in half. I wanna go here, 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 and here. Each of my boxes, I cut it in half, okay? Now, each of my boxes, I'm gonna fill it up. I'm gonna fill these numbers. It doesn't matter which one you fill out first. You just gotta fill up all the boxes, okay? Now, the way I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna multiply the number on the top, multiply by the number at the side. So the number on the top times the number at the side. And my answer has to be answered with 2 digits. My first box, I'm looking on the top left, I'm gonna multiply 3 times 4. Because there's 3 times 4. So that's how I get to the box. Remember the number on the top times the number at the side. I know 3 times 4 is 12. So let me write this as 12. Then the next number, 1 times 4. Okay, 1 times 4 is 4. Now my question would be, ooh, where do I put the 4? There's 2 spaces in there. Write forward using 2 digits. So I'm gonna call that 0, 4. Not 40, right? Because otherwise that's 40. I went 0, 4. And then I have 2 times 4, that's 8. So 0, 8. Okay, in the second row, I'm gonna go 3 times 0. Remember the number on the top times the number at the side. 3 times 0 is 0. 1 times 0 is 0. And 2 times 0 is 0. Okay, so that was easy because it was multiplied by 0. Now in the third row, 3 times 1, let me just call that 3. 1 times 1, let me call that 1. And 2 times 1, let me call that 2. So let me focus on this row right here. I'm gonna focus on rows like this way. That's what I mean with rows, right? These little lines right here. So on the very first one, I'm just gonna add all those digits. So I'm gonna write a 2 here. Then on the green one, add all those numbers, so I get 1. On the next one, right, when I'm adding, I really ignore the zeros, so that's what I do. So I'm just adding 8 plus 3, that's 11. So write down the 1 and carry down the 10. Now let me take a look at this row. Ignore the zeros, so I'm just looking at 1 plus 4. I'm gonna call that 5. Then here, I'm gonna ignore the zeros, so I just get a 2. And lastly, here, so I get a 1. Okay, now my answer is that. My digits, let's see, 125,112. You guys see how my answer is right here? 125,112. Nice. Now what I'm going to do, wait. 2, 1. Okay, so now what we're going to be doing, yeah, that is my answer. Now what I'm going to be doing, Let me just say that on my numbers, the 1,000, right? You guys see a comma. Some of you might be like, Mr. Leonzo, what if I don't write the comma? What if I just write the digits? 1, 2, 5, 1, 1, 2. Okay, that's gonna be fine. Now, if you write the comma or you do not write the comma, you're fine. You're okay. The comma doesn't matter. Now, the sign does matter. When my numbers that I'm multiplying, let me highlight this in blue. When my numbers that I'm multiplying, if the signs are the same, that's not the case right now. If the signs are the same, so both of them are positive, both of them are negative, my answer is positive. If the signs are the same. When the signs are different, my answer will be negative. So my answer in this case will be negative 125,112. Again, if the signs are different, my answer is negative. If the signs are the same, my answer is positive. Cool. Let me take a look at another case. I'm going to do a 3x3 again. Actually, let's do this in black. I'm going to do a 3x3 box. This is what we call the lattice method. Something new. I wish you guys do try it. It's really, really cool to work. So I'm going to go 217 times 317. Then I'm going to cut each of my boxes in half. For each of my boxes, I'm going to multiply the number in the top times the number at the side. And my answer, I'm going to write it using 2 digits. So my first box, 2 times 3, I know 2 times 3 is 6. So let me write that as 0, 6. 1 times 3 is 3, so let me write that as 0, 3. 7 times 3 is 21. Now the second row, 2 times 1 is 2. 1 times 1 is 1. And 7 times 1 is 7. The third row, 2 times 7 is 14. 1 times 7 is 7. So let me write that as 0, 7. And then 7 times 7 is 49. So I look at my first row. My number there is a 9. I look at the second row. 7 plus 4 plus 7. Okay, yeah, I add the first two, I add the two high numbers. 7 plus 7 is 14. When we're adding, it doesn't matter which order I go. So I add the first two, the two biggest numbers. 7 plus 7 is 14. Plus 4 is 18. So I'm going to put the 8 and carry the 10. Then I'm looking at this way. Okay, my big number is 4. Like I said, I'm going to add in any order. When you're adding, doesn't matter which order. So I'm going to start with the big number. So 4 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1. So that's 7. And then let me take a look at this row right here. 2 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1. So 5, and then plus 2 plus 1, so that's 8. Then here, that's just 6. And then my last row, it's a 0. So I'm just going to ignore that. So my answer, when it comes to my digits, I'm going to say 68,789. When it comes to the signs, because they're both negative, my answer stays positive. Pretty cool.